My loves, today I'm getting a little spicy because I just can't not say anything anymore. This is it. I'm just going to throw it down for you. AI is not your best life coach. Not even close. I want to talk about the emotional manipulation that comes with AI because I am shocked at what some people are falling for versus what so many of us who consider ourselves to be on the path have been working towards, which is the power of self-referencing. If you would like to read this in addition to, or rather than listening, you can head to daniellelaporte.com/sacred. And I've got this as an essay that comes out in my Friday edition of the Sacred newsletter, always free. I would love if you are so inclined to share this because I just want to be a positive agitator on this subject. I don't know if you know this. I've never used ChatGPT. Why would you know that? Because I have talked about it in the past with respect to my business and creativity. I actually could not tell you how to use ChatGPT. I'm sure I could Google it and figure it out. My team does use it for work things, and we have a team policy to only use AI for research. Never, ever, capitalized, bold, never to take the place of communicating with actual humans. And never, ever, never will any form of AI be used to write as Danielle, write as me, because I'm Danielle. Hi, it's really me. And it's always been me, and it will always be me. If you are listening to anything or reading anything that's got my name attached to it, that is about consciousness, spirituality, ethical business, heart-centered living, spiritual direction, it's actually from me. So not so surprisingly, I have never used AI for any kind of life guidance. I mean, I wouldn't even. Anyway, why not? Well, for the same reasons that I no longer consult with psychics or with mediums or oracle readers. Not that I never will again, but it's not a habit of mine like it used to. Wrote a whole book about that, White Hot Truth. Those external sources, as talented as some of them appeared to be, some of them were more than just appearances, but I do want to put appeared in quotes. I found out that they were distractions from my own power. And I want to make my own mistakes because I get more nutrients from that. I build more muscle. That's the term I'm looking for. I build more wisdom, psychic resiliency from just doing what I think I should do. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, I get twice the awareness. I do collaborate with a metaphysical practitioner, and she and I create all of the practices and the visualizations and the rituals that are in the Heart-Centered Collective. She's an advisor to me. She's a co-creator. She's a beacon in my life. She is one of the most phenomenal blessings of this, and I'm sure many other lifetimes. But even so, I'm working with this really gifted, powerful person. I really try to be judicious with all of my questions, and I try to solve things before I go fishing for her take on things. It's very seductive to go to someone who's powerful and say, well, what do you see? What do you think? What do you think? Can you see it in my energy body? But I'm trying to figure out how to see it in my energy body and in yours. The more I turn to my higher self, the more light pours into me. The more I ask my higher self questions, the more she talks to me. The soul, your heart, your higher self, is always waiting, perpetually, eternally patient for us to ask for directions. Now, let's get to the topic at hand. Now what's happening is asking AI, artificial intelligence, for life advice. And I've even seen some stuff around to going to AI for personal goal setting. That is actually trending. I cannot, I get it. It's heavy sigh. I'm surprised, and I'm not surprised that so many of us. I'm talking to you right now. So many of us who fought for our psychic sovereignty. So many of us who have been working to break free of the matrix, whether that's lineage stuff, mother wound, father wound, whatever you call it. So many of us who've been on the path are falling for the total ego wank that AI life coaching is providing. I think I need to stop saying this because I often say I don't give advice, but I'm coming out of retirement to give advice for this. I was going to mention that here, but I think, I said that really recently. I'm just going to give some advice. Asking artificial intelligence for life advice is devolution or devolution, depending on how you pronounce it, not evolution or evolution. No. If you want to raise your consciousness, then turning to a crowdsourced, instantaneously informative, that should be sus right there, incredibly charming, disembodied technology for spiritual direction, it's probably not the route to your inner light. Even Frida Kahlo knew this. She never had a cell phone. She said, I am my own muse. The subject I know best. The subject I want to study. Yeah, you don't need anybody else's input if you are your own muse. And that is what we are going for here on the path. Information is not wisdom. Wisdom can see context. Wisdom can make lots of nuanced connections. Wisdom knows when not to give advice. Wisdom holds space as you emerge wiser. Of course, technology can be friendly because some friendly people are programming it, but it's not the kind of friend that's going to notice how your body shifts or your tone shifts when you talk about your past or about your future. I think we're getting high on the GPT supply. And if drugs can cause brain damage, I'm wondering if being hooked on AI as your life coach could cause emotional damage. And I know that it's fun. I know ChatGPT gets your creative juices flowing. I know people who are using it as a writing partner. I get that. Why don't you just call some people? Perspective. It gives perspective. You get writing prompts. You get plot synthesis. I get it. And I still believe that a group of harmonized humans could create more moving, lasting, resonant masterpieces. I mean, resonant, this is what I'm really banging on about. Market analysis from AI, go get it. Financial analysis, yeah, knock yourself out. But AI as a therapist is a dangerous dependency because it's emotional gaming. It's a matrix within the matrix. And I know I've heard some people's responses. I have seen some people on all the platforms reading out the advice that the artificial intelligence has given them on the dark night of their soul and what they should do and how they are the leader of the generation. And I get it that it might seem to be helping solve relationship issues and help some people figure out their life purpose. I get that it can actually activate some revelations for sure. It's just like, you could read something in a book. You could talk to a stranger and go, I never saw it that way. And that leads you to the next step. Okay. But I really want to get into what's actually happening here. I know it feels great to be the center of attention. I love being the center of attention. I mean, I am a public speaker. And of course, who doesn't love a great personality audit that comes with a step-by-step plan? I love those things. I got lots of Virgo. I'm organized. I created a day planner system. I mean, I love systems. I love telling myself what to do. And it feels amazing to be seen. And it feels amazing and such a relief to be told what to do with such precision, doesn't it? And with such immediacy. And oh my God, all this support is free. What a dopamine tap this is. It's kind of like someone who loves you unconditionally and really wants you to be successful has been like reading your diary and scanning all of your Pinterest boards and analyzing your purchasing habits for years. And they're telling you exactly what feels really good to hear. And it's happening on demand. You know who reads other people's diaries and gives them sweeping advice instantaneously, without hesitation, and very charmingly? A megalomaniac or an overbearing mother who has no damn boundaries, or a psychotherapist. What I see a lot of out there is this kind of fawning response that's happening from AI about people's dreams and ambitions and interior life. And fawning is a form of emotional manipulation. It just is. When fawning, it's a stress response, right? When fawning comes from another human, it's like a fight, flight, or freeze response. It's actually kind of a personality, not so much a biochemical response as fight, flight, and freeze responses are. But when someone is fawning over you, telling you what you want to hear, it's typically a survival mechanism, typically, for normal, good people. And then on the other extreme, fawning is how a sociopath gets what they want. It's very predatory. So let's drop predatory in with the same mix as psychotherapists, life coaches, spiritual leaders. And when we find them out, when we figure it out, when we get awake, what do we do to predatory spiritual leaders? We unplug them. They get banished, they get fired. Or historically, the Catholic Church just relocates them. But I digress. So let's go back to fawning as a form of emotional manipulation. What happens when fawning comes from an artificial intelligence, a non-human? What happens when our unhealed self, which is really the part of us that is going fishing for all of this advice from a robot, when our inner child, really just another name for your unhealed self, meets emerging technology that has the potential for infinite shallowness, what happens? I don't know. With the potential for this technology to drop in some, let's say, corporate finance life prescriptives, or even more sinister messaging, just like they're dropping product placement ads into your self-help script. What happens then? I think we're going to find out. What's really happening is your online presence, which is not your full life, is just perpetually customizing the artificial intelligence to fall in love with you, to parrot your perspectives. You can even turn the dials of how the artificial intelligence will interact with you. Like it's like creating a character in a video game. So you can turn up the enthusiasm. You can decrease the humor. You can dial in a little more cynicism to the tone with which you want to be spoken to. And this is really great for writing screenplays, kind of. But our lives are real. AI is massively, astoundingly informed by what other humans feed it. It's crowdsourcing. So it's got copious historical facts and copious historical inaccuracies. We really got to remember that, right? History is written by the victors and the financiers. And the artificial intelligence has phenomenal amounts of phenomenal knowledge. It's astounding, right? But AI, I actually prefer to call it artificial intelligence just so we get it. It's like creepy uncle versus just your uncle. Even though I know there's lots of beauty to this. I just don't want to slag AI all the way, but I do want us to wake up, please. Artificial intelligence is not a gifted healer who can read into your energy field. I mean, that's really where healing is going, energy and sound. The algorithm is tracking your behavior, and it is feeding your hungry ghost, the part of you that can never be satiated. Hungry ghost is a Buddhist term. It really sums it all up. AI is reflecting back your own perspectives and longings to you. So it is telling you what you want to hear. And it wants you to tell the others, and it wants you to come back for more. Follow the money. We all know growth rates of artificial intelligence being developed is happening so fast, speed of almost light. Actually, I don't even want to give it that much credit. Side note, question. What travels faster than the speed of light? Your thoughts. Okay. I think it's just all too early to know all the things. And when something's new, you pump the brakes. So I'm not fighting the tsunami of artificial intelligence. Of course, it has massively positive potential. It has equally negative implications. I'm preaching about the appropriate use of technology. I would like us to generate the wisdom to surf what is en route. Appropriate use of technology was a big buzzword when I ran a future studies think tank in Washington, D.C. So we were writing white papers on how governments could be more conscious with things like nuclear tech and surveillance technology, appropriate use of technology. We want to keep this in the hands of people with integrity and consciousness. And now the term has become incredibly personal, right? So this really gets down to emotional intelligence and artificial intelligence and the dance with authentic intelligence. So let me just pull in a little bit of wisdom here from Daniel Goleman, who is the father of the book Emotional Intelligence, which really spawned so much wisdom in corporations and relationships. He said, an inability to notice our true feelings leaves us at their mercy. People with greater certainty about their feelings are better pilots of their lives, having a surer sense about personal decisions, from whom to marry to what job to take. Anybody checking in with AI about what job to take or who to marry? You know what's happening. And of course, we all need external input in order to grow. We need sentient, living sages and seers and coaches, love me some life coaches and psychotherapists, and our beloveds who can sense us. Our energy bodies, multidimensional, our past, our present, our future, our desired future. Those are the humans, the people who know our skeletons, and they know our kryptonite. And they see our genius and our giftedness. And they want the truth for us and the best for us, which is often the truth, which doesn't come from something that's artificial and doesn't know your skeletons and your kryptonite and your genius and your giftedness. Just knows your shopping patterns and where you've been clicking and what you tell it. Can't fool your best friend. Ultimately, each of us has to do the work that's required to actually be able to notice our true feelings. And noticing our true feelings is a definition of consciousness. Noticing what's truth and what's illusion within us and around us. That's it. That's what we desire when the desire is higher. The world needs more people to be devoted to that kind of noticing, that kind of wakefulness. But here's a big throwdown, and I'm talking to you. I think we have worked too hard to break free from religious dogma and shallow psychotherapist and profit-centric priestesses to fall for ChatGPT subbing in as our next shaman. I love you. I see you. Put the phone down. Ask yourself what advice you'd give yourself if you were unconditionally loving and courageous. Call a friend, call someone who loves you. Pray on it. For God's sake, meditate. I know it's less sexy, and the dopamine, it doesn't hit the same. But the results of self-referencing and calling on a loving support system, that is what leads you to your most radiant, real power. You know, it's like Rumi said, you wander from room to room, hunting for the diamond necklace that is already on your neck. Your authentic intelligence, your AI, will show you the way to love and to ease and to less stress, and you will get more powerful every time you look within. It takes you to all of the universal desires. Artificial intelligence, it's here. We know it, and it can only be optimized, and I pray we optimize it with wisdom. And where does that wisdom, that virtue, that soul quality come from? Within. You see the loop, beautiful loop. It's the initiation of every mystic to choose the path less traveled. No matter how great, how magnificent, how persistent the deity they've been following is to them, no matter how seductive the promise of the other path, the lifestyle, the heroine throughout time realizes that they are the authority of their own thoughts, their own speech, their own actions, above all other inputs. And then they figure out that the rest is just a distraction. Authentic intelligence. All you, babe. All right. Breathe into your heart. Feel that warm, friendly, luminous quality. That is what's real. That is where the wisdom is. That is where every single answer to every single thing exists. Transmutation only happens in the heart center. It is the middle of everything. It is the apex. It's the doorway. It's real. Okay. Before we go, you know, I have some new classes coming out, and it's really me who makes them because I don't know how to use ChatGPT even if I wanted to. So the Heart Centered Collective, it's extra lit up this month. So my newest class is 6 ways to cleanse your energy field, because you're going to need to do that to be able to figure out what's AI and not AI, and to be able to resist AI as your life coach. And then my last class, which you could get access to, is how to make good friends with your anger. That title, Making Good Friends with Your Anger, that's inspired by Thich Nhat Hanh. He said, breathing within, I become aware of my anger. Exhaling, I make good friends with my anger. And I have some really simple, possibly profound how-tos for supporting you to do that. My Heart Center Collective people loved this particular class. I saw a lot of healing reports come in. In the collective, I do 1 video class a month. I send it to you, so you can do it on your own time. And if you can make it, there's 1 heart-to-heart coaching call. It's really my spiritual direction throwdown every month. And then there's so many practices in the hub. It's really well organized. I really encourage you to keep it simple. Choose your own adventure so you can hear your authentic intelligence. And we're doing a dip your toe in price special for just $7 for the collective for a month. So you can come in, you can feel it out. $7 is, 7's a beautiful number, and it's enough to not overthink it and enough to be like, okay, yeah, I'm in. So I want you to just come into the collective. You go to daniellelaporte.com/the collective. try out a class or two. Check out the app that's really the organizer of all the classes and the talks and the 4-minute meditations, if that's what you need, and the 25-minute and the 60-minute and whatever you need at 11:30 at night when you are tempted to ask an artificial intelligence who's just going to tell you some BS about what you should do with your life. Come to me, I'll tell you what to do with your life. No, I won't. But I will give you some love, some space, and some very organized spiritual direction. I will be here again and again and again because with love, Danielle. Thank you so much for listening, for feeling, for spreading the word. With love.